Welcome back, YouTube family. And today I will be talking about, does suffering actually make you better? And before I get into this topic, I want to talk to you guys about how I choose to talk about these kind of topics on these videos that I'll be sharing with you daily. And my main point was to pretty much make you guys understand that everything that I say, I try to give to you as natural and raw as possible. So as I spend like a day, not like a fixed amount of time thinking about these topics. I sit down for maybe 20 minutes, jot down a few notes, write them down, and then the rest is strictly how I feel and what I chose to say in that moment as I'm saying it to you guys on the camera. So, I'm kind of saying it as I'm going, even though I have these certain topics in my head. So anyways, enough with all that yapping. Let me get into, does suffering actually bring you happiness? And the reason why this might be, not does suffering bring you happiness. Does suffering actually make you better? I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. And the reason why I ask this is because I feel like everybody knows, or at least has the idea that you have to do uncomfortable things and things you don't want to do in order to see progress in any aspect of your life. And so the idea of suffering will make you feel better could correlate, but I don't think the wording is correct. And here is exactly what I mean. If you look at your hard work and your uncomfortable times and the times where you're scared as suffering, then that in itself tells you enough that you need to focus on how you look at the things in your life rather than what you're looking to expect from the things in your life. When you look at suffering, when you ask the question, does suffering make you better, and you say yes, you're looking at it as you're working towards something in the future. And that's important to think about, but if you're always chasing this end goal, this final step, this point in your life, if you're chasing it, and until then you feel like you're suffering, number one, you'll watch a lot of your days go to waste, and number two, you'll never be happy with where you think you might end up. So, yes, it is true that you need to go to the gym every day in order to stay physically healthy, or you need to stay physically active every day. And there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing that. But my point is to not look at these uncomfortable times that teach you things that help you for the future or just in general. You cannot look at it as suffering. You have to look at it as, you have to change your outlook. You have to replace the word suffering with not necessarily enjoyment, but contentment. Because you know that in the moment right now, you might not be enthusiastic to do whatever you're about to do, but you have to be content with the fact that you know that you have to do it, because if you don't in the future, your life might lead down this rabbit hole that you would like to avoid. And so it's another way of understanding that you're gonna have to suffer now or suffer later. You choose your consequence. But my point is this mindset and this way that you need to work, it's important, but you'll come across people in your life who go through life not chasing these things, and they are very happy or content or at peace with themselves. And those are the people you can learn something from. When you look at someone and say, this guy doesn't go to the gym, he doesn't have a good job, he doesn't make a lot of money, he doesn't take care of himself, but he's happy or he's content and he lives his life without having the need for anything, you think you can't learn something from these people because of all these things, but those are the people you can learn the most from. The people who are content and okay with everything in their life as is, you can learn the most from. Those are the people I've learned the most from. They've opened my eyes to make it realize, what am I suffering for? And that's when it's not that I can just quit what I'm doing, because I know that I know that this does bring me happiness, just not sometimes in the moment. I need to shift my outlook onto how to change this suffering aspect into enjoyment or contentment. So, Suffering, in my opinion, doesn't make you better. The number one way to die quick is stress. Your mind and your body stressing yourself out will kill you quicker. You can work as hard as you want. You can grind hard all your whole life. But if you're stressed out, your mind and body won't continue. You'll be less healthy than someone who doesn't care about anything and doesn't stay on top of their stuff but is happy. Now, it's unfortunate because I'm over here going from one extreme to another. So I feel like my point to you is you need to find the middle ground for yourself. And where do you put yourself in this mindset to where, like, okay, when I'm suffering, I'm not suffering. I'm just a little uncomfortable because I wanted to be lazy today, but I'm still choosing to do this without the feeling of I'm burning myself out. I'm going too hard. I keep working. What am I doing it for? That's important to find the middle ground. So you don't have to look at this suffering as suffering, and you can just look at it as being in control of these emotions. Not necessarily in control of your emotions, but the way you react to these emotions and how you perceive them. You know, it's just because it's a negative emotion doesn't directly correlate with it's a bad thing you're doing, you know? And it's easy to shift your perspective when you understand that every problem in your life is a reason, is a chance to learn something. Anytime something goes wrong in your life, it is a direct outlet in for you to learn something about yourself or about what you like, what you don't like. So when you look at this suffering, you look at it as a progress, you look at it as a key to get inside of the door, you will automatically start feeling better, and you might even end up having the confidence and courage and the energy to do more, because now you no longer look at all these things as suffering. You don't look at working as working. You look at you become more grateful for all the things that you have. And naturally, I feel like when I started understanding this mindset, I started doing more because it's not suffering anymore. I let myself go of this concept that I have to work hard and grind right now and make myself feel like shit in order for me to make myself feel good later. But the truth is if you feel like shit right now, you're gonna feel like shit later. You can't change the way you feel about yourself through external factors. You have to choose what kind of things make you happy and content. If you shift your mindset into working out makes me happy, or it at least makes me feel good now, and it gives me the confidence later down the road. Or reading, you know, there's days I don't want to do it, I'm tired, but it helps me expand my knowledge and, you know, input ideas and perspectives in my brain that I wouldn't consider before, you know. And then so you start looking at the positive parts of the things that you wouldn't always find positive, and you stop looking at the hard things as hard things and the negative things as negative things. And recircling back, you can't avoid negative emotions. You can't avoid times where you feel like you're suffering. And you can't avoid times where you feel unhappy or guilty or any of these things. You can't avoid this. As humans, we all are meant to go through these emotions, including feeling like we're suffering. You know, you're gonna feel this way. It's impossible to completely exit it out of your life. But the whole point of this question is to understand that you don't need to feel like you're suffering in order to be successful. That the mindset, you need to shift your mindset and to make yourself feel like you're successful now, because you are. You're successful now. Act as if you're already there. Act as if you've already have everything. If you act like that, you'll quit wasting days trying to get to that point. Because that's what I do. I act as if I'm rich. I act as if I'm the healthiest, the best. Not like in a cocky way, but in a way where it's like nothing can change the way I feel. Money, physically, money, the perfect physique, the viewers, anything. None of this will change the way I feel. If I'm sad now and I'm not happy with myself now, I'm not going to be happy with myself later. It all starts with understanding that. And so sorry, I was reading some notes that I wrote down. But it kind of starts out with how you decide to look at these things in your life. And it may be hard, but it starts with reassuring yourself, even if you feel like you're lying. And it's obviously not good to lie to yourself, but at times when you feel like you're suffering, you have to repeatedly tell yourself something else. If you just tell yourself, your mind, I've said this before, and this is one thing that I'll probably continue to say on this channel, your mind is your reality. So how you decide to look at things is how you will feel about things directly. So you can understand what I mean by that based off of the things that I was saying previously. And so just to end this video off, I've been going back to reading 101 Ways of Thinking by Brianna Wiest. I want to end off on this last thing. Create what you believe, see what you want, and you'll have what you give. I'm gonna say that one more time. Create what you believe, see what you want, and you'll have what you give. I'm gonna break this down real quick. Creating what you believe. If you believe in love, you're in control. You need to create it. You need to give love. If you feel like you're not giving love, then you'll never receive love. And that follows up with seeing what you want. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. You choose to see how you look at things. So if you're not seeing what you want, then change what you want so what you see is what you like. And then lastly, you'll have what you give. If you give love, you'll have love. If you give hard work, you'll get hard work in return. If you give respect to everybody, you will continue to receive respect. This doesn't account for certain situations and things like that, but don't let your bad experiences on love, trust, and all these things, don't let that perceive how you choose to give it out, because what you give is what you receive. So that kind of didn't have as much to do with the whole topic, but I did want to give that to you and share what I can. So thank you guys for watching this video. I will be continuing to post these every day and talking to you guys about certain topics like these and just discussing. And what I want to end on is, if you're watching this video, and again, I think I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. If you disagree with what I say, that's okay. I prioritize on topics that are not facts or fiction. Or no, it's not truth or false. It's not yes or no. I like to talk about topics that are open discussions so I can state my opinion and be open to other perspectives. So anything that you have, any thoughts or anything, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. But anything that I share on this channel is strictly my perspective and opinion. And the only reason I think that it's valid is because in my life, I feel that I've made enough mistakes that I was able to learn from these. And I am assuming that I have gained enough valuable information from these mistakes to share with you guys. It's not in any sense in which I think I'm better or good or a therapist or anything like that. I'm not giving myself any type of credit like that. I'm just sharing what I think could be valuable information to the right person watching. So thank you guys for watching today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.